Welcome back to the Tool World Podcast. I'm your host, David Jew, and I'm here with Master Jew.
Hello there, Mr. Jew.
Hello. All right, we're continuing from last week. Last week I brought up this question, so this is the real question I had.
Oh, no, but I forgot about last week.
We'll go back and watch the old podcast. And we were talking a little bit about mid-air kicks, right? A flying side piercing kick in a 180 or a 360 rotation, right? The question is, how is the proper way to perform it? And I think we see this a lot in like the flying 360. So let's say I have my right leg back in an L stance.
Okay.
Right? And a lot of times you see people, they take that right leg, it starts coming up, and that knee's bent, and it's like pushing towards the sky. And then you jump off your left leg, and you kick with the left leg.
Definitely easier.
Right? That is a little bit easier, right? So you're kind of using one leg to kind of swing you up, you rotate it, and then you kick, right? And then you also have, where you just jump straight up. So my both feet are on the ground, right leg's back. I just jump straight up. I turn counterclockwise, side piercing kick with that left leg, and I land in that same stance.
Right.
And now the question is, which one is the correct one?
Well, I guess the question would be, which pattern are we talking about?
Well, we're not talking about pattern. Yeah. There's no pattern that has 360. So I think some people might say, like, okay, if you do it where the leg comes up first,
Kind of like
one
a
leg,
double motion.
it's kind of like a double motion,
Right.
or people might call it like a cheat 360 or like a cheat 540, cheat 720, because they're already starting that rotation
Right.
early. I mean, what do you think?
I don't think there's right or wrong to it. I think there are some advantages, disadvantage for maybe both. First of all, if you're going to be able to jump straight up and do a 360 without, just jump straight up, both feet right up, spin around.
Yeah.
You do have to have a lot of spring or athleticism to do that. Kind of like when you do the Enchuma where you jump up and you spin around and then, right? Or you're in the U-shaped block and jump up. You do have to be able to do that. And I mean, we always talk about what you said earlier is the little cheat. So when we do those kind of things, do you not also see people kind of like take a little hop and then jump up?
Yeah.
Right? Where really it should be, you're right in that L stance and you just jump and do that. And that's not easy. All right? So first of all, you got to be able to do that. You got to get enough height to do that, right? And to spin around and kick. So that's not easy. That's why I think people do this. You have a little cheat.
Yeah.
In that case, a little hop or whatever, if you want to do the double motion where you bring up the one leg. Why would I do, we would call it a double motion where one leg comes up and you jump, spin around 360 and then do the
Version number one we talked about.
version number one.
Okay. The cheat
That-
version. We'll just say, we'll call that the cheat one, right? Just to make it easy.
All right, if you want to call it the cheat version, but it's not necessarily cheating, but it definitely moves you forward more. It's covering more distance.
Right.
So if I was relatively close, and if these techniques are supposed to give them a surprise and I'm really close, and I need to hit them properly, then maybe just jumping straight up and doing a 360 and the kick. That's why I would do one versus the other. One, the cheat way maybe covers more ground. The other way doesn't cover as much ground because basically you're jumping up, kicking with the lead leg, but you're doing a 360. You spin around, kind of like that surprise type of technique.
I mean, it kind of comes up to like, what is the goal purpose of the technique?
Right.
Right. If I'm trying to go for like surprising them, maybe just jumping straight up.
Right.
As a little bit more, just because they don't see that coming. You're rotating in the air.
Right.
But it's not to say that doing the cheat version, I can't still hit them. You see a lot of people still hit those kind of kicks because, you know, when you bring that leg up, the person doesn't really know what you're doing. So maybe their hands are down and then you end up hitting them in the head, right? So it's kind of almost like a combination kick in a sense, except that you're not executing that first kick.
Right,
Exactly,
it's kind of like a fake in a way.
So I think the question comes down to is that, number one, when you're doing that cheat version, you're actually not doing the full 360 spin in the air. And so that's why you might call it a cheat. I mean, what do you think about that?
Right, because you kind of lift up that leg and you're
turning
already, and then you're jumping up.
So you only turn maybe like...
I guess technically it's not really a 360 because you've already started your turn. Maybe it's a, I don't know, 280 or whatever it is. It's kind of what you're saying. Okay, that's pretty technical. I'm not sure what other people might be thinking.
I mean, it's just opinion. So, I mean, would you consider that a 360?
I would call it a 360.
Okay.
But I think what you're saying, if you look at it from a mathematical point of view, it's not real. Technically, the jump doesn't start until maybe your legs already rotated, your body's rotated a little bit, so it's not technically a 360. Is that,
Okay.
that's kind of
yeah,
what
that's
you're
what
saying?
I'm saying, right? So
Yeah.
when you look at testing now, because obviously this does not show up in any pattern. Let's say you did a midair kick on there. What would you look for? Which one would you look for?
My question is, can that person execute the technique with, first of all, can they kick with both feet off the ground?
Yeah.
And if they can do that, I'm going to be pretty happy with that, I think. Not,
Well, it depends on the rig.
On the-
I mean, like,
depends on who
you're-
they
you're
are.
asking there.
well, if it's a 60-year-old guy, maybe he might not be able to do that. But anyway, that's a different story, right? So I would say height. That was
Okay.
kind of important. Can they execute the kick in the proper direction? Because sometimes you see this and it's like here, it's over there, it's like to the left, to the right. Is it kicking straight in front? That would be important to me.
Yeah.
And then the landing, obviously. Can they land in good balance,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So that's what I would be looking for. I think that if you were to just to jump straight up, it's not an easy kick without some kind of assistance. Whether it's a little hop or whether you bring up that one leg, it's not easy. And so you have to have that ability. So, okay, when you test, I'm going to ask you, perform a 360, no cheat, because you're young and you have that the spring in the leg. And it's got to jump. You
Yeah.
just got to jump and kick.
Right.
What do you think?
Maybe I just want to test.
Maybe I won't test.
All right. Anyways, let us know you guys' thoughts. Right. What is the right way to do the 360 midair kick, or just that kick in
Your
general?
thoughts,
right.
yeah.
Cheat or not cheat. Right. Don't forget to leave us a comment. Let us know how you guys do it. And as always, don't forget to be safe.
Keep training.
We'll see you guys next time.
Take one.